All good to go. Starting us off with the serve here is Reds Crimson setter, Ramey. Ung with the first contact. A swing from Duncan. That ball set in the middle to Nixon. Nixon going into the deep corner of the court, and that is going to score. Reds on the board first here. And the ball is being tracked down by the fans. Ramey back to serve again. That ball is passed up by Noreen. Set out to the left. Augustin with the swing. That one is going to go out of bounds. Point Reds. Back to serve once again. Here's Ramey. That ball dribbling over the top of the tape, picked up by Augustin. And she is going to drill that one into the top of the tape this time. 3-0 for the Reds on the board here in this battle. Ramey back to serve. Ung with the first contact, a chase down from Swerden, and there to flick that ball down is Nixon. A nice redirect on that block. Ramey back to serve. Ung with the first contact. Swerden setting it to the back. A big pickup on that tip. Nixon trying to block that ball, but there you have it. Synergy on the board here now. 1 serving 4 as Swerden, the setter and captain of Synergy, heads back to serve. Jump float, and that one is going to land right on the sideline. A cleverly placed serve. Point Synergy. Swerden with the jump float. And that one is going to float long and out of bounds. Point going to the Reds. Heading back to serve here now is Latourne. Jump float. That ball's passed up by Young. Set to the left, and a big swing from the lefty on the left side. Duncan with the kill off of Nixon's hands. And that'll send Augustine back to serve. Float serve, and that is a tough float. Too much heat to handle on the passing line. That is a service ace. Augustine back to serve. Float serve, that is another service ace flying off of the passer's platform. Augustine with the serve, and it is passed up by Latourne. Nixon over top of the blockers, dug up by Augustine. And there is a cleverly placed ball by Julian, taking a little bit off of that one and finding the open court. Augustine back to serve. Float serve passed up by Nixon. A roll shot from Kukurski out of the back row. Swerden with a nice jump set save to Julian, and she's going to turn to the other side of the court and throw that ball down in 1. Augustine back to serve. 7 serving 5. Float serve. That one is going to land outside the boundaries of the court, and that is going to be a Reds ball. Back on the line here now is Nixon. 6 serving 7. Noreen with the first contact, set to the right. Going down the line is Duncan. It is dug up by the Reds. A tough free ball over top of the block, and that is Kukurski with the bump kill. Nixon back to serve. And that ball is passed up, chased down by Swerden. Swing cross court. And there is a big swing through the block. Augustine with the dig in the seam. A tip over from Duncan. Julian hitting that party ball, and it is going to work for them. Synergy getting that kill and point. Julian back to serve. And that ball is passed up and over. Set to the left. There's a big swing from Earn, picked up by Duncan. Ramey setting it to the middle. Kukurski turning it to one, dug up by Swerden. An inside set for the left side in Ung, but that one just a little bit too far inside for her. That one hitting the top of the tape. Ferguson back on the line for the Reds with the serve. Float serve, passed up. Set to Duncan in the back row. She's going to take a tug on it. Nixon with the dig. Kukurski hitting it to 5, picked up by Julian. And there is a huge swing, but an even bigger block from Kukurski and Lawrence. Duncan turning to her team, looking for some coverage. So the Reds are going to steal that point, 9-8. Ferguson back to serve. And that serve in the deep corner of the court. That is a service ace. Float serve. Passed up by Julian. Set into the middle. A roll to 1 from Noreen. And that ball's going to find the floor, and it is going to score. Point Synergy. Duncan back to serve. Float serve. Nixon with a beautiful pass. She's going to get that back row ball and swing at it. Dug up by Augustin. Set out to the left. Sharp cross. Dug up by Latierne. Free ball over from Ramey. And Noreen turning it to 1, and that is going to score. Point Synergy, and the crowd is getting wild here at the Canada Game Centre. The stands are full below where I'm calling the game from and starting to fill up on the opposite side, as you can see on your screen. This is the gold medal match. Duncan with the serve. And that one going into the top of the tape, Reds point. And that will send number 8, Lawrence, back to serve. Jump float, and that ball is passed up. Set to the left, and it looks like there's a little bit of net action there. Right in front of the head official. She is going to call that one on Synergy. Reds point. Jump float. That ball is passed up. Set to the middle of the court. Noreen with the free ball over. That ball set into the middle, and the big throw tip. A good idea from Kukurski, but just throwing that one a little bit too wide outside the court. That is a point for Synergy. And that is going to be a point going to Synergy. Back on the line serving the ball is Ung. Float serve. Passed up by Ferguson. She's going to put a free ball over. Ung with the pass. And there is a clever dump there from the setter, but that ball is dug up by the Reds, and we are going to see a net violation called on Noreen. That is going to be a Reds point. Kukurski back to serve now. That ball is passed up by Young. Noreen putting it to the back row. Free ball over from Duncan. Passed up by Lawrence, set to the middle. Nixon with the tip thrown to 4, picked up by Augustine. She's going to get the set on the left and trickle it over top of the tape. It is alive. And now a swing down the line from Latuerne. Duncan there to dig it. No one there to block it. And Augustine is going to put that ball down with some authority. Point going to Synergy. Noreen back on the line. Float serve. That ball is passed up and chased down by Ramey. But that ball not able to be chased. Service ace, Synergy. And we are going to see a timeout here called by the Reds. Both teams back on the court. Synergy with the serve here. Noreen back at the line. 14 serving, 13 in the first set of this gold medal match. That ball is passed up by Lawrence. Set to Nixon. Nixon over top of the block. Picked up by Ung. Augustine looking for the tip. Nixon there to block it. She's going to get a second chance. Dug up by Gitao. Nixon now looking to put that ball away, but there to block it is Julian, and that is going to be a point for Synergy. And you can see the battles on the court. Julian and Nixon excited to get each other as blockers. Noreen with the serve. Nixon this time going away from Julian with the tip. And a good try there by Swerden trying to save that ball. But that is going to be a Reds point, and heading back to serve here now is Ramey. Float serve. That ball is passed up by Young. Set out to the left. There's a big swing, but there's an even bigger block. Nixon with that point. 15-15, Ramey back to serve. Float serve, passed up by Young. Augustine with a tip down the line, picked up by Ramey on defense. That ball, free ball down the line. Julian with the big swing, cutting it to one. A little too much cut on that one as that one spins side out of bounds. Ramey back to serve. And that ball hitting the top of the tape and dropping down onto the ground. Service ace. Ramey back to serve. Hung with the pass. That ball set out to the left. Augustine with the big swing. Nixon to 6. Julian versus Nixon. Picked up by Ramey. Nixon with a nice turn and a swing from Guital. Nixon with a big swing, and the Reds Crimson get that point with their aggressive offense. Reds pulling away here now, 18-15 in this first set. Ramey back to serve. Ung with the first contact. That ball set to Noreen in the back row. He's going to go for the roll shot to 1. Nixon past Julian's hand. A nice touch by Julian. Augustine on the left. There is Nixon, but Augustine is going to bang that ball off the block and out of bounds. Point going to Synergy. And that'll send Swerden back to serve. That ball is passed up. Set to the middle. Nixon getting there quickly and finding a way to put that ball down. And it looks like we are going to see a timeout called by the Synergy coach. Both teams back on the line, battling it out here. Reds Crimson versus Synergy. Latourne with the serve. Swerden out to the left, and Duncan is going to throw that ball down. Lefty on the left side with the sharp cross shot. Synergy with a good side out there now, 17-19. Augustine back to serve. Float serve, and that is going to float right into the seam. Service ace. And we're going to see a timeout called right away by the red side. Both teams back on the court. Augustine with the serve. And that swing from the back row, not quite making it over the top of the tape. That is going to be a Synergy point, and we are all tied up at 19s. Augustine back to serve. Float serve, passed up. Free ball over from Latown. Duncan with the tip over top of the blocker and just trying to get a handle of her feet is the Reds' Crimson defender. That is going to be a point for Synergy. Augustine back to serve. And that ball is passed up. Set to the middle. Nixon over top of the blocker. Nixon there just in case to put it down, but we are going to see a double contact called on Synergy, and that is going to be a Reds point. And speaking of Nixon, she's going to head back to serve. Float serve. That ball is passed up. Set to the left. That swing into the top of the tape, and that is a Reds point. Nixon back to serve. Augustine with the pass. That ball set to Duncan. She's going to go high off of hands down the line. Keeping that ball alive is the Reds. And looking to save that tight pass is Sworden, but that is going to be a Reds ball. And the crowd is going to go wild as it gets loud here at the Canada Game Center for this gold medal match. Nixon back to serve. That ball passed up by Noreen, set out to the left, and a swing into the top of the tape. And we are going to see a timeout called by Synergy. Both teams back on the court. The Reds up 23-20 here in this first set. Back on the line is Nixon with the serve. Noreen with the pass. That ball set to Julian in the middle, and there's no question about it. That ball is going to score. Julian with a great job. Past the blocker, hitting to one. And after that sweet kill, she's going to head back to serve to bring her team back into this one. 21 serving 23. Float serve, passed up by Laterne. Nixon in the back row, and we are going to see a tough call there on that set. A double contact. That is going to be a point for Synergy. Julian back to serve. Float serve, and that is a tough float. That one moving away from the passer's arms, all tied up at 23s here. Back to serve is Julian. Float serve, passed up by Laterne, set to the middle. Guitard with the free ball pushed over. Sworden with the save. And trying to keep that ball alive is the Crimson Red defense, but they just can't get to that one. And we've got a set point advantage here. 24-23, Julian back to serve. And that ball is passed up. Set to the back row. Nixon with the big swing, dug up by Augustine. And there to throw it down is Guitard. And once again, a nice job on that block with the redirection. 24s. Ferguson back at the line. Float serve. Augustine with the first contact. Set out to the left, a roll shot from Ung. Free ball over from Lawrence. Duncan from the right side with the big swing, and that one is going to go out of bounds, but a good job there by Duncan, trying to put some oomph behind that one. 25 serving 24. Ferguson back at the line. That ball is passed up by Augustine. Set to the middle. Noreen with the swing to one. It is dug up. Nixon with the big swing, but an even bigger block there from Noreen and Ung. And we're all tied up at 25. So Duncan back to serve. Nixon with the pass. That ball set to the middle, and a huge swing high off of hands by Guitao. Advantage going to the red side once again. 26 serving 25. Lawrence back to serve. Jump float. That ball is passed up, set to the left. A roll shot. Dug up by Nixon. Ramey with the dump. Duncan taking that second ball. Roll shot over from the left. Nixon from the back row, picked up by Duncan. Noreen in the middle with the swing, and that one is just going to land outside the boundaries of the court. And there you have it, folk. The Reds Crimson takes the first one, 27-25. But I would suggest not going anywhere. We're going to be right back once those teams switch sides, and we are in for another treat of a set, perhaps two. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the gold medal match here at the 2019 Volleyball Canada National Championships in Halifax, Nova Scotia. It is the Synergy Ontario team taking on the Reds New Brunswick team. And the Reds did take that first one in a close set, 27 to 25. We have started off the second set here. Reds are on the board. Serving the ball is Thompson. That ball is passed up. Set to Julian. Julian with the swing down the line. That one landing just outside the boundary of the court, and that is going to be a Reds point. Back on the line here is Thompson. And that ball is passed up. Set out to the left. Stritnarin cross court. Nixon with the swing over top of the block, and that is going to be a Reds kill. Serving the ball here is Thompson. That ball is passed up, but not settable. That is going to be a point for the Reds. Thompson with the serve. Stritnarin passing it up. She's going to get set on the left, and a big swing down the line is going to score. And that is a point for Synergy. Back on the line here is Julian. Float serve. That ball is passed up by Guitar. Nixon setting that ball, putting it over his Volp. And it's set on the left. A good touch there by Volp off the block. Nixon with the roll. That ball set out to the left, and a huge swing from Harrison, dug up and over by Guitar. Harrison with an inside set, this time into the block of Nixon. A nice cover. And a sharp cross shot there by Stritnarin, and that is going to be a big point there for Synergy as they look to keep climbing the board. 2 serving for Julian. Back to serve. That ball is passed up. Set to Nixon, and she is going to put that ball away. Heading back to serve here now is Noel. Float serve just floating into the top of the tape, and that is going to be a point for Synergy. Back on the line here now is Rampat. Float serve passed up by Noel. And a good try there by the Reds setter, Thompson, to get a touch on that, but that is just too much to handle. And we saw it in the semifinals. Rampat going on a huge serving run. She's going to look to do that again to put them in the lead for serving 5 right now. Float serve. That ball is passed up. No one there to get the second contact, and that is a Synergy point. Rampat back to serve. Float serve, and it is going to float right past the passer onto the ground. Service ace. And it looks like we're going to see a timeout called here by the red side. Both teams back on the court here. Synergy serving red crimson with the first set. And that ball is going to land right inside the court according to the lineswoman, and that is going to be another service ace. Rampant doing what she does best, going on a serving run. Float serve. And that one is going to land out of bounds. A little bit of a swing and a miss there on the Reds' passing line, but that is what they needed to break that serve. 6 serving 7 here now. Nixon back at the line. Jump float. That ball is passed up by Julian. Set into the middle, and there is a huge swing from Lee in the middle. And that is going to send another Dynamo server back to the line, especially seeing her in the semifinals going on a run. Sritharan looking to pull her team ahead here. Jump float. The ball is passed up. Great job by Noel. Nixon from the back row. Picked up by Sritharan. Set to the middle. Lee going at it again, and she is going to swing and kill that ball deep to 5. Back to serve here is Sritharan, but before that happens, we're going to see a timeout called by the red side. Both teams back on the court. Sritharan with the big serve. And we are going to see a net violation called on the Reds setter. A tight pass there. Not much to do with that one. And here we go. We're in for a battle at the service line now. Sritharan back to serve, 10 serving 6. And that one trickling right over top of the tape. And that's going to do it. Another big serve. Sritharan back to serve. Jump float. That ball is passed up. Set to the left. There is a swing in 6. Julian with the dig. Back row attack from Sritharan, picked up by Thompson and over. Swing in the middle from Lee. And she is going to find the inside of the court. And that is a good call there by the referees. That ball definitely was in, according to the bird's eye view up here on the track. Back on the line, Sritharan. And that one is going to land just outside the boundaries of the court. Another good call by the reffing staff. Back on the line here is a Volp for the Reds. Float serve hitting the top of the tape. Synergy is going to get that point nice and easy, and that is going to send Harrison back to serve. And there is a big float serve. Point going Synergy's way. Harrison back to serve again. 14 serving 7. And that ball is passed up. Free ball pushed over by Volp. Picked up by Rampat. Lee from the backside of the court running a step. And excited about the result there is she. That is going to be a kill and point for Synergy. Harrison with the float serve. That one's going to hit the top of the tape, and that is going to be a Reds point. Heading back to serve here is Faulkner. Jump float. Harrison with the pass. That ball set out to the left. Julian down the line. And that is going to score. That is a big swing for the middle / left side hitter. Saw her in the middle in the first set. We're seeing her on the outside. Julian is a dynamic player for this team. Back on the service line here is Lee. And Lee is going to find the seams right between the passers, and it is a service ace. Lee back to serve. And that ball is passed up and over. Picked up by Suthar and set out to the left. Julian this time going cross court. And we're going to see a net violation called on the blocker. That is going to be a Synergy point. Back on the line is Lee. And that one hitting the top of the tape. That's what the Reds want to see as they look to climb back into this one. 9 serving 18 as Synergy has pulled away a bit in the second set. But the Reds did win that first one. Guitar with the serve, passed up by Harrison, set out left to Julian. Julian high off of the blocker's hands, and that is going to be a point for the Reds. Rather, Synergy. That ball high off the blocker's hands, Synergy point. Swearden with the serve. That ball set to Nixon in the middle. She's going to tip it over top of the block. Picked up by Lee. Suthar in cross court. Dug up by Gital. Nixon in the middle again. This time taking a tug on it. That one going a little bit too long. That is going to be a Synergy point as they are now in the 20 zones. 21 serving 9. Swearden, your captain and setter of Synergy with the serve. Jump float. That ball's passed up by Gital. Set to Nixon in the middle. She is going to go high off of Rampin's hands and chasing that ball down. Are the Synergy players doing anything they can to get to that ball? Nice effort there, but that is a Reds kill. Back to serve is Thompson. Float serve. That ball passed up by Harrison. Set out left, a big rip at that ball, but an even bigger block there from the Reds. And then that ball just landing on their side. That is going to be a Synergy point. Heading back to serve is Julian. Float serve. Passed up and over by Faulkner. Swearden with the set to the right side and going sharp crosses. Sritharan with the kill, and that is going to be a point for Synergy. 23-10 here. They're looking to extend this to a third to battle it out for the gold medal. Back to serve here is number 5, Julian. Float serve passed up by Faulkner, chased down by Thompson. Free ball over from Nixon. Julian with the pass. Set to the right, Sutharan this time looking to go down the line. That ball just out of bounds, but a good change up there from the hitter. Trying to work her angles. Heading back to the line, here's Noel. Float serve, that ball's passed up by Harrison. Set to the left. A big swing down the line, just over top of the tape and the blocker. A good effort there from Nixon. But that is going to be the point that Synergy wants, taking them to the 24 and putting their dynamo server Rampant back to serve. Looking to finish off this set and force a third. Rampant back to serve. And that ball is going to land out of bounds. Point going to the Reds. Back to serve here is Nixon. Jump float. That ball is passed up. Set to the back row. Sutharan with the big swing. Dug up by Volp. Rampant with the first contact. Lee in the middle taking a tug on it. And that one hitting the top of the tape. Point going to the Reds. Back to serve again. Here is Nixon. Jump float. That ball is passed up. Set to the back row once again. Sitharan with the big swing, and even bigger dig there from Thompson. And Synergy finding a way to keep that ball off of their side. And there you have it, folks. We are going to a third set. Both teams one set apiece. Don't go anywhere. The teams are going to meet with the referee, and we are going to get started very shortly. Hello, welcome back to the 2019 Volleyball Championships, National Championships here in Halifax, Nova Scotia at the Canada Games Centre. I'm Raisa Lalani. I've got your call for you, and we've got the gold medal match in front of us right now, and we're going to a third set. It's the Reds Crimson taking on Synergy. One set apiece. We're going to get started right away here. Swirden with the serve. That ball is passed up. Set to the back row, free ball over. Swirden in the middle to Julian Nixon with the big block. A nice cover there from Synergy. That ball is passed up. Set to the middle, Nixon with the tip, picked up by the chicken wing of Duncan. Augustina with a big swing, Nixon with the big block. Ramey looking for Nixon, and she is gonna swing at it with some aggression. And there is a key player for the Reds looking to get hot this set. Back on the line here now, Ramey, your server for the Reds. Back on the line, a tough server here for this team. That serve down the line, Duncan with the first contact. Julian putting it up and over. Picked up by the Reds. Latiern swinging high above the blockers. That's set out to the left, and there is Augustine. A nice job there coming from Swirden with a little bit of a tricky set holding that middle blocker. And Augustine there up in the air to put it away. After that swing, she's going to head back to serve. Float serve just over top of the tape, and that is a tough serve to receive. Augustine back to serve. And that ball is passed up by Thompson. Set to the left, free ball over from Nixon, picked up by Augustine. Right side set to Duncan. She's going to go for the tip. It is picked up by the defense of the Reds. Nixon with that big swing off of the defense's hand, and that is going to be a kill. Heading back to serve here is Latiern. That ball passed up by Lee. Nixon with the party ball kill, and that was huge for the Reds. And that front row player. A nice snap on that ball. Latiern back to serve. Float serve. Passed up by Lee. Set to Julian in the middle. She is going to cut it to one, and a beautiful swing there. It's a middle battle at the net here between Julian and Nixon. Julian winning that one and heading back to serve. Float serve, dribbling over the top of the tape. A nice get there from Latiern. Nixon with the swing. Swirden with the save. Free ball from Duncan. That free ball is going to go out of bounds. And that is going to be a point for the Reds. 4 serving 3. Nixon back at the line. Jump float. That ball is passed up and over by Julian. 2 Reds players trying to get that one. Augustine with the free ball over. And there's a big swing from Gita, but that one going into the top of the tape, and that is going to provide some life here. For Synergy, back to serve here is Duncan. Float serve, passed up. Set to the back row. Nixon with the swing, dug up by Julian. Chased down by Swirden. A cross-court shot from Harrison. And there's a tip into the pot, picked up by Harrison. A nice save from Augustine. Free ball over and out of bounds by Duncan. Thompson back to serve. Julian with the pass up. Set to the middle. Lee with the swing, and she's going to find the corner of the court. And that is going to be a point for the Reds. All tied up at 5s. Back to serve is Harrison. That ball's passed up by Nixon, set out left. There's a big swing cross court, dug up by Julian Duncan, taking that second contact. Set in the middle, but it looks like we are going to see a double contact call on that set. A tough play there for the Reds. Synergy going to look to capitalize on that one, 6-5. Harrison back to serve. Nixon with the pass. A good job by Ramey off the net. Harrison with the free ball. Augustine with the big swing. No blockers to be found, and she is going to put that ball away with some authority. 7-5 here. Synergy looking to pull away. Reds needing to side out. And we're going to see a timeout called here by the Reds coach. Welcome back to the gold medal match here. 14U Girls Div 1 Tier 1 2019 Volleyball Canada National Championships. It's the Reds Crimson from New Brunswick taking on Synergy from Ontario. Synergy up by 2, 7-5. Here is a serve from Harrison to start us off, and we are going to see a service ace. And that is going to take us to 8, which means we're going to see the team switch sides and then continue this exciting action. Both teams are back on the court here, and it looks like we're going to get a substitution on the red side. Coming into the match here is number 6. This is Faulkner. And heading back to serve, here is Harrison. Float serve, and that is going to land right in the deep corner of the court. Service ace for Harrison. Harrison back to serve, and that ball is passed up. Set to the left, free ball pushed over. Harrison with the pass. Augustine on the left, taking a tug at it and putting that ball away in the seam, and that is going to be a kill. And we're going to get a substitution into the match. Coming in here is Noel. And still serving the ball here is Harrison. And it is a service ace. And it looks like we're going to get a timeout from the Reds coach. Both teams back on the court. Harrison back to serve. Float serve. Passed up by Knoll. Dumped over by Ramey. Set to the left. Augustine taking a tug on it. Dug up by Thompson. Julian with the free ball pass. Augustine again getting that ball. Just bouncing it over the top of the tape. And she is just unstoppable right now. Coming back into the match is Lantern. Serving the ball here once again is Harrison, and she is unstoppable at the line as well. Synergy now 13-5. Back on the line here is Harrison. And that ball is out of bounds. Reds Crimson now looking to put in some work here. Lawrence back at the line. And we're going to see a timeout called by Synergy. Both teams back on the court here. Reds now fighting for their life, 16-13. Back on the line is Lawrence, looking to create some spark here and string a few points together for her Reds Crimson team. Jump float. And that's going to do it. That is a service ace. And we're going to get a substitution coming into the match here is Sritharan for Duncan. Back on the line here is Lawrence. Float serve, and that one is going to go out of bounds. Point going to Synergy as they look to win this gold medal here, 14-7. Back on the service line is Lee. And that ball is passed up, chased down, and no free ball to be put over. And there you have it, folks. Synergy from Ontario are your gold medal winners here at the 2019 Volleyball Canada National Championships 14U Girls Div 1 Tier 1 here in Halifax, Nova Scotia at the Canada Games Centre. We're going to leave this on for you so you can see, and I believe they have switched some of the courts up, so we are perhaps going to have the boys 14U gold medal match coming up on this court, so don't